Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am Laura Ashley Abraham.
And I am the diva, Connie Smock. I still have the glasses because, long story, but my eyes started kind of swelling up again. So I'm not putting any makeup on, and you really don't want to see this. So it's not very pretty. So yes, go ahead, twin. Go ahead, to you.
Are right? Really? Okay. So I wanted to show everybody that was so cute. Your shirt.
My shirt. Oh, go ahead. Show yours first.
Mine. Yep. I have love. Mine says love. I've been saving this one for this. I know for these videos for February. Okay, go ahead.
That's actually really cute. I like that. I want one of those. By the way, we are starting our Michigan Medium Angel shirts, just so you know. I'm hoping to have one of them in the videos. Lindsay just finished one. It looks really cute. I know. I may have her do something a little different, but just so you know, it is cute. I think I sent it to you. Did you get it?
You did, but we didn't even talk about it. I was like,
I know.
I forgot about that.
I did too. So anyway, that's going to be something too. Eventually, once we get it nailed down, so that we could, yes, I would. Anyway, this is mine. Love is all you need. Yeah. So we both have our love groove on. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
I know, and we didn't even know we were going to do that today.
Of course not. We have the same brain, but I'm super excited to talk about this one.
Yes. So today, because the original one, when the first one that we did for the month of February, this is the second week in February. And this is the one where the first one that we did, we talked about past life relationships. We talked about soulmates, twin flames, and divine complements. And so in this one, we decided we were going to talk about healthy relationships and what is the definition of a healthy relationship? What does that look like? Where are the boundaries? What's a toxic relationship? How do you know when you need to keep working at it, or when is it time to maybe let go? So this is going to be exciting. I don't know if we're going to finish this all in this one or if we're going to need another video, but I just want to say, we both want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching our videos and for letting us know and giving us feedback about how it's helping you. That's why we do these, because we know that's going to help you, and also it's so much fun, okay? And we are having a good time, and that's the whole point. I wanted to share this with you real quick, Tink. I know, so sorry.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I couldn't resist.
So, okay. That is the funniest thing, because there was a coach that was out there, and I don't even know who it was or how I found it, but she was talking about that she had this fear of being like silly, like we are. And she would be very specific, or very, not very professional. She wanted to make sure she was very professional. And both of us are very professional, but we're also silly.
Are we really? Are we really though?
We are. I am. Okay, I am.
I know.
You are.
We have the balance of the two. I agree with you. There you go. I will give you that. The balance of the two. Perfect. I love it. Go ahead. Proceed.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say is it allowing our personalities to come out. That's part of this. That's part of the healing too, is because we are who we are, and we each offer unique and different perspectives. And so the two of us together, we crack ourselves up. I don't know if we're making anybody else laugh or if it's just us, but we're having fun. And we're helping people at the same time. We're helping us, we're helping you. So thank you for being with us. And go ahead, Tink. Start us off on this one.
Okay, so healthy relationships. I am so excited to talk about this one because I can guys, if you're listening, I can sum this up for a healthy relationship. All you need to do, okay, this is very easy.
Oh boy, are you guys ready for this? Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Okay. So, is anything I want, I get. Treat me like a princess. Okay. And
I almost just spit my tea right out of my mouth. That was the funniest thing. Didn't see that coming. That was really funny. Okay, I thought you really were going to offer some good advice. Okay.
I'm sorry, but that is good advice. Okay, I will in return treat that person like a king. All right. I don't see that there's an issue here for a healthy relationship, right? And if I, say maybe I am cold, you go get me a blanket. If I say I'm thirsty, you go get me some water. I mean, I don't think that's an issue. That's a healthy relationship. Why are you shaking your head, Twinkle Toes? I don't think that that's an issue.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So we might have to record a different video at another time to explain why that's not a good idea.
Actually, it is, and I'll tell you why. If you really do treat the other person like a king and you treat the other person like a queen or prince and princess, and it's a give and take and it is a balance, you guys can have a really good relationship. It's when it becomes imbalance. So to a degree, that is true. Okay. Of course, I was somewhat kidding, but really, if you do that and you are with someone, and let's say I know my boyfriend really likes me to cook him eggs in the morning. I'm going to cook him eggs in the morning, even if I really don't feel like it. If I'm running late, that's a different story. But you know what? If it's something I know he really likes, I'm going to do it because I do know that that's what he likes. And it's also important, I think, to know.
I'm just going to say.
What, honey?
No, I'm just.
You like eggs cooked too?
I'm just cracking myself up. No,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, that's a whole nother video where we're going to share the other video about that one, but that's another time. But yeah, but let's say the love languages, the 5 love languages, right? Because if you know the other person's love language, because here's the thing. With every relationship, it's not going to be 100% where you like every single quality of that person, right? It's going to be, it's going to be a matter of, what are your deal breakers? Like, what do you really want in a man, and what are your deal breakers? And it's maybe if you're trying to decide whether or not it's toxic or not, it's looking at that list and what do they possess in the column of what you really want in a guy. And maybe you list top 5 top ones that you really, really need in a relationship. And then you look and see, well, are there deal breakers? You may find when you make your list that all 5 of your top deal breakers, this person possesses. It's kind of like a no-brainer at that point to me. Are there times where the people are still in love and they still try to make it work and it just doesn't seem to be working? This is such a big topic, honey. I really do think it needs to be 2 different videos because there's so much involved in this. But I think for the biggest thing, what I know, for lack of time, is communication. Communication is number 1. You have to communicate with your loved one to be able to have them know what you want. And there is a difference between how women and men think. That's why there's men are from Mars, women are from Venus, because it's true. We think that a guy should just know. How can you not know that that's what I would want, right? And then we get upset and we get emotional because we're women, right? We have that receptivity, the water, the feminine energy, the goddess energy. And at the same time, the guy is like, I have no idea why she's so mad. I don't get this. I don't even understand. And then that makes the woman even more furious because he's not getting me, right? He doesn't even get me. I need someone who gets me. So it's a matter of if you can communicate. And Twink, you and I see this all the time in coaching. It's, have you talked to this person? And well, no. Well, what do you mean you have? You have to start with that and start. Well, every time I do, I said, well, let's talk about how you communicate. How are you communicating? Are you getting mad? If you're mad and you're angry, which I have done this just recently, where I've gotten really, really mad because I felt I wasn't being heard or understood, which just escalated it because then he got really mad and then it ended up and it wasn't pretty. But if you can come from a place of trying to understand the other person first and seeing what they're it really involves taking a few deep breaths before you have this conversation and kind of getting out the points you want to get across in a loving way, coming from a place of love, which is sometimes hard to do when you're upset or you're hurt. Because what's the term? Hurt people, right? And you don't mean to, but it's coming from that space of hurt sometimes where the anger comes up. And more times than not, it's triggering something that needs to be healed. That's why you're hurt, or it wouldn't be hurting you. You would just say, that was like you and I talked, that was dumb. Let's just move on. You're not going to do that. What are you talking about? This is just dumb. Let's just move on. But when you're hurt or something needs to be healed, that's when you know if you're getting upset about something, then that's when you need to start communicating. Now, obviously, you don't want to communicate every single little thing because then it's going to be like the other person can't do anything right. So you want to kind of pick and choose what it is that you feel you need to discuss. And that involves, like, I know, Twink and Nancy, I talk to you guys a lot about different things about, am I being irrational? And it's not, if there's a difference of constant complaining or trying to figure it out. If you're constantly complaining about the other person, then something does need to shift and change. To me, that's unhealthy. But if it's, I'm trying to figure out why this is bothering me, I'm trying to figure out, is this my stuff? Is this his stuff? Is this our stuff? Is this from childhood? Does this need to be healed? Like, what is this? And that's where our coaching comes very much in, it comes handy, because we can get to the root of why something's bothering someone. But two people have to be willing to work on it. It can't be one-sided. To me, that's a healthy relationship, is that give and take of what is it that, if it's just one person constantly working, the other person is not, I don't feel that's unsustainable, because that person's raising their vibration, becomes that disparity in that vibration. Because remember, these energies now aren't supporting the disparity in vibrations or frequencies in people. It's more like vibrations are coming together. So if it's a similar vibration, then to me, then that's when it's more sustainable. But the more this person works on themselves and this person stays here, and then it just becomes an irritant to each other. And you might find yourself like, oh my gosh, I can't even stand to hear him breathe or her breathe. Or every time she talks, it just drives me crazy. It's because most of the time, it's because that vibration is just, it's gone too far. And you have to find a way, if you want to get that back again. Go ahead, Twink. I know it was kind of a lot, but there's just so much. I could go on and on and on, and I don't want to I want you to be able to jump in too, because I have a lot more to say, but go ahead.
No, this is great. And this is what's going to happen. I think we're going to be talking about this issue for the next 2 videos, or how many ever we have left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a huge topic, and we can't cover everything in it. So we are going to have to break it down. A couple things I wanted to touch on were, for defining a healthy relationship, because every relationship that you have is going to be different. And what does it look like for you, and how does it feel? So that's a question. And I remember when I was married, and in my relationship, I had a lot of, I guess, blinders on, I would say, because I wanted to make it work, and I did not want to leave. And what ended up happening was I kept being pushed. I was able to see it later, but I kept being pushed in different situations to be able to force me to leave. Okay. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So that's one of the signs I feel. And another one was, for me, it's paying attention to the signs. It's not being reactive in a moment. It's not, oh, he said this and I'm out. That's not a healthy relationship. You definitely want to be working on it, but that's a trigger. So if you do feel that way and you do want to jump out, there's a trigger with that. And so that's why you need to really take a look at it. Is this something that you can work with, or is this something that you cannot? Now, if the other person is there and they say, you know what, let me work with this on, let me help you with this. Let's figure this out together. What is wrong? Why are you so upset? What did I do to hurt you? Why do you feel the way that you do? And they're genuinely concerned about what is going on with you. That's how you know you can really work on this relationship. And with my ex, he was not like that at all. And I remember he actually wrote a sheet out for me that on how I could manage taking better care of the kids hour by hour, okay, day by day, on how he didn't have to do anything, and that I would be able to take care of the kids. This is what time you get up. This is what time you make breakfast. When you do, he wrote it all out for me. And actually, I forgot about this. He actually put in there when we would have sex. I forgot about that. So I'm not kidding. I ended up giving that to my attorney. And I remember the reaction from my attorney.
It's probably the same as mine. I'm like,
I know.
I couldn't see it, but during the whole time she was saying that, I had the gaping mouth. Go ahead. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, honey. Yeah.
It had gotten to that point because I wasn't able to see it and I had shut down so emotionally. I remember I bought a book on how I could better take care of my man. There was a book out there, you know, how I could serve him and take care of him and do everything for him. I really was trying. We had gone to counseling, and the two turning points for me were when we were at the counselor's and he had said something to me, and then she repeated back to me what he had said. I didn't have a reaction to him, but I started bawling when she said to me back what he had said to me. The way she was talking to me, I couldn't believe somebody would talk to me. I can't to this day remember what she said, what was said, but it was verbatim what he had just said, but it was coming from her. And I had a wall and I couldn't see how bad it was. Mm-hmm. And when she said that to me, it like broke through that barrier, and I was then able to finally get, wow, there's a big problem here. This is way bigger than I realized. And it's not going to get better because it was me trying to make the relationship better. And it was him saying it was all me. And it truly was not. We were not working together as a partnership. It was very, very one-sided. And I remember one of the things he had said to me is, don't ever ask me, or don't ever tell me you need something. Don't ever use the word need, because I won't do it. And if you do, I won't. So anyways, those are the types of things that if you have somebody who's talking to you like that, that's not a healthy relationship. You're not going to be in a partnership. And that's usually not sustainable unless they're able to see their behavior and they're able to change that and work with you as a team. You're not always going to get along. You're going to have fights. Things are going to irritate you, but that's different. That's things that you can work on. For the most part, you like being around the person. You know, they bring something to you. They make you happy, or you feel good when you're with that person. If every time you are with a person and you don't feel good about yourself, they don't make you feel good, you feel like you're suppressing major parts of yourself and you're not growing in the relationship, that is not a healthy relationship. That's a toxic relationship. The other things I wanted to touch on too was, you had mentioned the love languages. So there are 5 love languages. And it's really good if you know what those are. There's touch, if you like physical touch. There's words of affirmation, where somebody says nice things to you and you really, they're complimenting you, that you really like that. There are gifts, where you like to receive gifts from somebody and that makes you feel good, or you like to give gifts to other people. Then there are acts of service, where you like when somebody does things for you and somebody's, helping you with different things. And then there's spending time with them. So you want to, spend quality time with the person. So it's really good when you figure that out. You can do that with yourself. You can do that with your spouse, your partner. You can do that with your children too, because it's really good to know that about your kids, what their love languages are. And that helps get you closer. That helps to develop a bond. And that helps with the communication in your relationship too. Is if you can say to your partner, this is what I really like. And then your partner can say, this is what I like. And then you can help each other in those areas. And that will bring you closer together too. Go ahead, Tink.
No, I love that. And I did want to get back to that too, but I thought I said quite a bit in the beginning. So yeah, thank you. I know, and I love, to me, it's touch. I love when someone, I love that feeling of closeness with someone. And I think probably acts of service too, for me. Those are my top 2. And ironically, though, those are my boyfriend's top 2 as well. Mm-hmm. So that makes it easier, because then we can do that for each other, which is nice, because then we understand why we like to do that. Mm-hmm. So it is very important, I think, to understand that, because we get this all the time, where the guy thinks he's doing great because he's doing physical stuff for her around the house, but he's not telling her how much he loves her, or telling her how beautiful she is, or whatever. So she thinks he doesn't love her, doesn't appreciate her, but he thinks he is, because that's his love language, is acts of service. So she's telling him how maybe and maybe getting upset, but then also he's not getting what he wants because his is acts of service. So she's giving him maybe some words of affirmation, but not doing stuff for him, and that's his love language, and that can create that chaos and or miscommunication because they're not speaking their same love language. It's all about the communication, either speaking the love language, or speaking for what you want, having healthy conversations. You don't want to all the time say, to your significant other, can we talk about our feelings? Because if you do that all the time, they're gonna be like, I think it's time to, I think it's time to watch TV. It's time to watch TV. I don't think I want to speak about feelings anymore. But anyway, the other thing too that I always ask people, I say, I just ask one question. Are you fulfilled in the relationship, or are you just surviving? And most of the time, they're just surviving. And then I say, okay, so is it working? No, it's not working. If it either works or it doesn't work, one of the two. There's no in between. And if it doesn't work, is there a way that things can be adjusted on both sides to make it work? And then two, are you even in love with this person anymore? You can love someone, but are you really in love with this person to where you really want to make it work, or is it just comfortable? That just really hit it just went straight to all the way down my body with that one. I got chills everywhere. Are you comfortable because you're feeling like, I don't want to upset anyone, for whatever reason, finances, kids, whatever it may be. Or I get this a lot too, which is very interesting to me. I don't think the other person can survive without me. I think the other person would be really hurt without me, or I think I don't want to hurt the other person. What's happening though, by you staying in a relationship that doesn't work anymore, you're not fulfilled. And if eventually one or two are you going to go outside the marriage or the partnership because you're not being fulfilled, and you're really only hurting that other person even more because they could be with someone who actually wants to be with them, who has a similar vibration to them. So you're holding yourself back. You're also holding the other person back. Does that make sense?
It does. Those were some great points. I love that.
I'm just kidding.
You couldn't see it. Do it again.
You may have seen it again. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, honey. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, that was great. That was really, really good. It's true. And I mean, there's different types of relationships, different types of, partnerships. But what is it that you are looking for? What is it that you want? Do you want to continue to work on the relationship? Do you feel like this is something that is sustainable? Do you feel that this person really wants to be with you and really cares about you? So, there's a lot of different questions that you do need to ask. And I know also some people will get into the habit of staying in a relationship because it's a habit, it's a pattern, and the toxic relationships too are everything's okay for a little while. Then one person will react or do something, and then that is unhealthy. I want to just make that very clear. Unhealthy, like yelling or screaming or like physical or verbal. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about regular relationships where you get upset and you're like mad at the person. I'm talking where like this is a pattern and this is like a constant thing that happens over and over. And if you wouldn't do that, I wouldn't get so mad. And if you wouldn't be so whatever X, Y, and Z, then we wouldn't have an issue, or wouldn't have a problem. And where the other person, there's a lot of blame, and usually the blame is going in one direction, and it's not a healthy dynamic. And then where they're hurting, where you're constantly being hurt in the relationship. And I'm talking where that's like verbal abuse, or it can sometimes be physical abuse, where there can be an issue with substance abuse or with alcohol, that type of thing. That's not a healthy relationship. And unless the other person can see what they're doing, that's their way of coping, is either drinking or not dealing with their issues and projecting them onto you. And unless there is some recognition on their part, you can't do their work for them. And the only thing you can really do is do the work on you. And if that shifts the energy in the relationship, great, to work on it, then that's where your power is. Your power is on working on you, because you can never change somebody else. You work on you, that will shift the energy, and it will either bring that person to you, or it will force the relationship to shift and change and bring forward someone new, and for you to let that person go. When you do have a trigger, I wanted to break down a couple things. Break down what the issue is. What is it that is really upsetting you? And do this later, because usually when you're in the moment, it's really difficult at the time. And really look at the issue. So noticing, what was I upset about? What was said that upset me? And where is there a pattern or repeating of this? And what is it that really upset me? And when you're looking at that too, you want to make sure you're detaching from the situation and that you're not taking things personally. So you want to remove the emotion out of it so that you can really look at it from a detached perspective. Being detached does not mean you do not care. It means that you're not going to emotionally be bringing your emotion into it. You want to try to figure it out. You want to try to realize and get to what is the underlying issue. Is it that I don't feel safe in the relationship? Is it that I feel that I'm not being heard, or I'm not being listened to? Is it that I want to spend more time with my partner and they don't want to spend time with me and I'm feeling neglected? Is it that this person has an issue and I want them to see it and they're not seeing it? So really take time to look at what it is that you are trying, what is your goal in having that discussion? And if you can write out some bullet points for having a discussion when you're calm about it and the other person can hear you, and then you can not be reacting, that will help too, to get more of the communication and to get a result that you are looking for. Okay, go ahead, Tink.
Well, you basically just summed up my last 5 husbands, just so you know. Just kidding. There's only been 4. I'm kidding. There hasn't been. Okay, anyway. No, I agree. Totally agree with everything that you say. And that was good. And I love about the triggers. And actually, we could do a whole segment on triggers. I mean, that could be, I wrote down some notes about, I think we should do this on the next one, about chemistry and the difference between physical and emotional and whatnot. Wouldn't that be amazing? Because there's a lot of people who have this connection, and it's because they have great chemistry with someone. So they think that they should be with this person because they have great chemistry, but there's a lot to it more than that. So we're going to really talk about that. And then people deserving, feeling like they don't deserve, like it's an underlier. So I want to talk about that. And I love the fact that you said, the one thing that you said is a lot of times of not being heard. It really is about one person saying one thing, this other person is saying another thing. They're really saying the same thing. They're just saying it differently, and the other person isn't hearing them because they're not saying it in a way the other person understands or comprehends. If you're ever going to be in a conversation with someone, like you said, stop, break it down first, take some deep breaths, and ask Archangel Gabriel to help you to be able to formulate the words and articulate them in a way where your partner can hear you and understand each other. And also, I always call upon Archangel Raguel to help with relationships anytime there's an issue going on. And I ask for whatever is going to happen is going to be for each of our highest and greatest goods. And then trust it wherever it goes from there. And really, that's all I have on this for now. because again, this is just so much to this that I'm glad we have the whole month because we're gonna need it, right? Woo! It's a doozy. Anyway, go ahead, honey.
No, that's great. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. That is really going to be a good one. The chemistry, talking about that next time. So I am so excited. All right. So for now, I think that's it. And we hope you have a great day. Go ahead and sign us out, Tink.
All right. Everybody have a magical day and night filled with peace, love, and light. May the fairies be with you.